Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be the third and very last video we do. Kind of just ran by. Video we do about off-grid community. I'm Brian and this is my wife Diana. After 21 years in the Army, I retired, moved to Alaska, bought an off-grid cabin on a remote island. Now we share our lives and adventures with you to inspire others to follow their dreams. The first one we talked about helping out your neighbors and looking out for your neighbors. Then we talked about security. This week we got some trail cams, so we're going to put some trail cams up, and then we're going to talk about some guns. Everybody loves guns. A lot of people love guns. So let's get this thing hooked up, and we'll talk about what we're doing here. Got the trail cam all hooked up. What I found to be true is that you have to like place them, turn it on, take some pictures, come back, remove the SD card, look at your positioning, look at your angle, and see if that's where you want it. So that's what we'll do tonight. We'll put this thing up, let it take some pictures. I'm sure to get a picture of gunner or two, and then we'll just look at the footage tomorrow and see what it looks like. I was checking the trail cam footage and I got a pictures of Gunner, of course, and then the next frame or the next picture that came up, I was like, what the hell? It's a guy in a beaver coat. If you haven't seen Almost Homestead's channel, I'll leave it down in the description below, but he does a great skit about a guy in a beaver coat, and it's pretty hilarious, so go check him out. So the next thing we're going to talk about is guns. Now, it's a hot topic in America. Long story short is it's in the Bill of Rights. Every American citizen is authorized or has the right to own a firearm or plural firearms. So we're not going to get into the political side of this thing, but if you're going to live off the grid, you're probably going to be in a remote area, and so you're going to want a firearm. I mean, if you don't have to, but for me, we have all kinds of animals out here. Our biggest threat would be a brown bear. In other parts of Alaska, you've got moose, and those things are actually more dangerous than bears, and they actually kill more people than bears do. So moose are nothing to play around with. And then you always have the threat of somebody breaking into your house or somebody trying to do you bodily harm, and the best way to defend yourself is with a firearm. And with that being said, what I really wanted to hit on is some things that I've seen, you know, with my son growing up and going out and shooting and going to gun ranges and stuff, and there's Gunner. And that is that just buying a gun isn't enough. You're going to want to, and my brother's a perfect example of this. My brother bought his first gun about 2 years ago. He had never owned a gun before. He had not really shot a whole bunch of guns before, but with the day and age we live in now, he wanted to protect his family, so he bought a pistol. But in that 2-year period of time, he's probably put 3,000, 5,000 rounds through that pistol, and that's what I wanted to really hit on, is that owning a gun is one thing. Knowing how to use a gun is something completely different. We were at a range a few years ago. It was me, my brother, my dad, and my son, and the people next to us had just bought a gun. It was a young couple in their their early 20s, guy and girl, and they were putting the bullets in their magazine backwards. And my son, I didn't even notice it. My son was like, "Hey, you know those are backwards," and so he gave him a quick little class on how to properly load a magazine. But that's another thing I wanted to hit on, is gun safety. When my son was a little kid, you know, from probably 8, we took him and started him out shooting at 22. And whenever he was old enough and physically strong enough to rack a pistol, like a semi-automatic, we would teach him safety. And when I'd come in and show him how to load, unload, how to clear, And then throughout the month, I would always be like, hey Phoenix, that's my son, I'd be like, hey Phoenix, go grab my pistol over there, and he'd go grab it, and it was a teaching tool. If he didn't drop the magazine, rack the chamber, look and physically inspect to see if there was no rounds inside there, and then hand it to me after he had completely cleared it, then we'd have to go over it again and reteach what we'd learned. We're not getting political. We just need to teach gun safety to kids because they don't know what they're doing. And if you have a gun and they pick it up, they can either shoot themselves, shoot you, shoot another kid. So that's all, like Forrest Gump says, that's all I got to say about that. What we're going to talk about here today is and I am not a gun channel, but I did spend 21 years in the military, so I do have some shooting experience. I'll probably, I don't even know, dude, hundreds of thousands of rounds I've lobbed down range. Everything from 9mm, the 45, the 1911, Mark 19, the 50, the old Mall Deuce, the 240 Bravo, the 249 Saw. Started off with the M16 A1, A2, then to the M4 3-round burst, then it went back to M4 fully auto. Carl Gustav, got to shoot the Carl Gustav, that was interesting. AT4, the M72 Law. So dude, I've shot a spectrum of weapons, and even when I was going through a course, we had to inventory all the armory, and they had every weapon known to man that's ever been made. And so we got to shoot there. We got the Barrett 50 cal. We got to shoot that down range in Iraq. But I got to shoot the Thompson machine gun. That was super cool because you got to pick, after we inventoried the armory, you got to pick what a couple guns you wanted to shoot. So I picked the Thompson machine gun. A lot of guys that never been deployed was like, I want to shoot the AK. I'd already shot the AK, shot the MP4. So yeah, I've shot a lot of guns. Yeah, AR-15's my preferred gun, and then I have a little 9mm that I keep in the house here in the cabin, and I also have a 9mm that I keep at town, and that's my everyday carry. We might do a video on my everyday carry versus out here and what I use in town. And then out here I use the 454 Kazoo because my biggest threat out here is bears, and you want some mega stopping power to put one of those big boys down. When you buy your first pistol or your first rifle, you want to get it zeroed in. You want to learn basic shooting fundamentals. That's not what I'm going to hit on today. I'm going to hit on some stuff that once you spend a few 100 rounds breaking in your gun and a few thousand rounds getting comfortable with it, then you can go forward into some more advanced techniques, and that's kind of what I want to hit on. And this is why this is keyed in with security, is because and protecting your home is because these are the things that people don't think of. They think I have a gun, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and somebody will be in the house and I'll just shoot. Well, you kind of want to learn some shooting techniques. You want to learn how to like pie your corners and stuff. I mean, that's a little too far advanced. We're just going to show you some different shooting techniques today, and I don't even know if this is going on video. I don't even know where this video is going, except for the fact that I love to shoot guns, and this gives me a chance to shoot some guns. Boom. So once you get your zero and everything in, and you're ready to do some more stuff, you probably won't be able to do any of this stuff in a shooting range, so you'll have to go to some place out in the woods where you can do this, and we're talking about like movement drills. You want to learn how to do just some secondary shooting drills, which is what I call your secondary is your pistol. Your primary is always your rifle. So that's what we're gonna talk over a little bit today. Hopefully I'm not just mumbling. I'm not a gun channel. Go and watch some gun channels if you want, some good shooting channels if you want to learn this stuff. This is just stuff that I picked up in the military, and I figured for the guys that are homestead, it should at least put a light bulb in your head and say, hey, there's more to than just buying a gun to protect yourself. So let's get to it. First things first is you want to have a good backdrop. I've got a little berm here. I'm going to be shooting down instead of straight. because you want to know where your bullets are going to end up. You just don't want to just be shooting all willy-nilly out into the open, because you're endangering somebody else's life that way. So please make sure you have a good solid backdrop. Got a little moisture on it. So step number 2 is you're going to want to get like a 6-inch circle. Perfect. Start with how to shoot a gun, how to hold a gun. The thing that I can't stand the most is that when you see a lot of people, they want to hold their gun like back like this, and they lean back. Let me see if I can scoot out a little bit. So they like do a 90 to their target, and they lean back and they're doing this. The gun's not going to hurt you, and if anything, that stance is going to hurt you. So what you want to do is square up with your target, put your feet shoulder width apart, probably your firing side, put that foot back a little bit. You want to raise your gun up, get a firm pocket, put your buttstock in the pocket of your shoulder, and then lean into your rifle. All right? I mean, and that's the best way to do movement drills too. I'm sorry my sling's not the best, but it's improvised. I mean, what can I say? So, like I said, feet shoulder width apart, your firing side, foot back just a little bit, bend your knees, weapon up. A lot of guys are like going straight. I never shot like that, so I like to shoot straight up here. So tuck it into your thing, get a good sight picture, lean forward into the weapon. That's it. All right, so for your red dot too, another thing I'd like to hit on is that red dot should just barely be visible to your eye. You don't want that thing so bright that you're taken away from your target. You want that thing just barely enough so you can see it. We got all those 6-inch circles. You want to get like 15 feet back or so, and you want to just get a good sight picture at your 6-inch target. Place 2 shots in, move up, place 2 more shots in. So we'll do a couple of rifles. We'll do a couple of pistol. Let's get some earplugs in first, though. This is going to scare the hell out of Gunner, so we're not going to shoot too many rounds because Gunner hates it. Alright, that's it. So that's just moving towards the target. Let's transition to do a couple of pistol shots. When you get in any type of shooting or stressful situation, your heart rate elevates. So a good technique to start doing is do some push-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 push-ups, get your heart rate elevated, stand up, take a breath, start shooting. That just makes, because when your heart rate goes, you'll be breathing hard, that moves your sight picture up and down. So you need to get used to finding your target when your breath and your heart rate's off. I'm running low on ammo because I only brought out 1 magazine per thing. So do 10 push-ups. We're gonna shoot around, see how it goes. Alright, well that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm a little rusty, obviously, but having the knowledge and being rusty is better than not having the knowledge at all. So get out there. If you're thinking about homesteading, think about what weapons will work for you, and then think about, once you get them weapons, what kind of training you need to get in order to get more proficient at those weapons. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you around. We'll see you next week.